course, as you know, so Zendesk Workforce Management, this is a tool that can help you to understand a bit better what is the productivity of the team, because we have our main functionality is real-time monitoring. So we can understand how much time agents spend on tickets or on specific activities. And not only that, it's not only time, it's also, we can understand some actions. So this allows you as well to understand, okay, it's not only someone that is spending 30 minutes on the ticket or 1 hour on the ticket, but it's also understanding a bit the actions that they are performing. Are they sending messages to the replies to the customer, etc. So I'm going to show you really quick. So the tracking, this is how it works. So agents, they don't necessarily have to, as soon as I arrive here, let's say 8 a.m., I'm starting my shift. So I can come here and start working on a ticket, and the tracking is going to start counting for that activity. Yeah, there you go. It's always something that we advise that agents start the day, but if they don't do it at any point because they forget about it, they can always just join the ticket, and we're going to start the tracking, okay? And this is what you're going to see. So again, if as an agent, I come back here and then I go back here, I'm going to see the ticket that the agent is working, okay? So going back to the admin side of things, what I'm going to see, where I'm going to see this information is going to be here on the agent activity. So I'm showing you this. For example, I already have some tracking here. So this is more or less what I should see. So I can see the tickets that Leopoldo has been working on, and yeah, so that's how you're going to see it. Okay. So to start with the setup, what we have today, so we have everything that is account settings, user management, teams, roles and permission, and we're going to start with that. So first thing is the account settings. So the account settings, this is very straightforward. So you have general information about the company, the admin, etc. And then we have here some definitions that you can allow specific things to appear on the widget. So in this widget for agents, so let me just go back here. For example, here on the settings, I have allow task log. So the task log is a way that agents, they can log activities. So for instance, if I am, let's say that I'm going to be on a meeting and I don't want to be moved from that state or from that general task, I can then log this activity. So if I go to a ticket, I'm not going to be tracked for that because I'm logged on this activity meeting, okay? So this, you can decide if you want to allow this for your agents or not. We also have an option that you can allow this for specific users. So maybe you don't want to give that possibility to your agents, but let's say that you have a couple of admins or team leads that they might need to use this to block specific activities. So you can then select this to give this permission to specific users. So we're going to see that when we go to the account settings, not the account settings, the user management page, which is where you can see this. But just to let you know that you have that possibility to allow this to specific users or not. And then we have here these other options. So we have the timer and visibility over the timer and the general task. So as you can see, I have here my time that is counting there. But if I would like to, let's say I don't want to see the timer, or I don't want agents to see the time, I can then save here. Let me refresh. And if I am logged in any activity, then I'm never going to see the time. Okay, so I'm just going to see the activity, and that's all. This might be good for some agents. Okay, some companies, they prefer to do that, some others don't. I think there's no like a good way or bad way. I think it always depends on what you want to do. Okay, so I'm just going to do it again here. There. And then the last thing that we have about this page is the access control. So this is a way that you can restrict users to be included on the tracking or on the tool. So for example, when you start using Zendesk Workforce Management, we're going to sync all of the users that you have in Zendesk, and they're going to appear here. So for example, on the agent activity, I'm going to see here the total amount of users that I have in my account. So let's say that I have, I don't know, a couple of teams that they shouldn't be tracked, or you don't have interest in having that tracking for those users. So you can simply come here to the access control, and I will recommend to use the block list. So you have to add the email of each of the users that you don't want them to be tracked. Okay, so you can then enable this, you copy the emails, and then you click save. Okay. And this is also good, for example, if you have some agents, like high rotation of agents, for example, you can add here the block lists, like the emails of agents that are not going to be tracked, or like the users that are not going to be tracked, and then automatically anyone else that you're going to add to your Zendesk user list is going to appear here. So that's also a way that you can then, if you have a high rotativity or rotation of agents, it's going to make your life easier. Cool. So now we have the user management page that I already mentioned. So this is a good way that you can understand at a glance, for example, to see the agents. So I have a list, and you can see specific attributes of each of these agents, right? So I have, for example, the role that they have. This is the Zendesk default group. We have as well the teams that they are part of, because agents can be part of more than one team, and the work streams. So just a quick introduction about work streams. This is how we identify, or how you can segment your tickets in Zendesk into the tool, okay? So in this case, we have this by channel or by tier, but this can be something that you can configure as you want, as it fits better your needs. But yeah, just to let you know what workstream is. And then we have the location, and this is related to, so the location they are part of, and the locations is the place where you can build the shift templates. So the shift templates is basically telling the tool when agents are available to work. And then we have the shift. So this is again linked to the location. In this case, this is the name of the shift, and if they are active on the tool or not. So you can export the list, you can filter. Let's say that I want to filter this by role. So I only want to see the admin. So I'm going to see the list here of all of my admins, etc. Okay. Then what I mentioned about the task log. So let's say that I want to restrict this for my agents, but I want to allow access, or I want to give that possibility of having the task log on the widgets to my admins. I can come here, and this is when I click here, I'm going to see like a quick, let's say, summary here, like the time zone, and then you have here the option to turn on the task log. So next up is going to be roles and permissions. So this is a very functionality, if I can say that, because this is going to allow you to give level of access to specific users, okay? So for instance, by default, when you see this page for the first time, you're going to see that you only have two roles. So you have admin role and agent role. So just an FYI, we're going to, let's say, copy the list of users that you have in Zendesk, that they have, the ones that have admin access, they're going to appear here by default. The rest of the roles are going to be automatically agent. Okay, so this is something that if you have, let's say, a team lead that in Zendesk, they have agent role, but you want to give them full access to all of the functionalities that you have in Zendesk Workforce Management, then you should look for him on the list and change that access. And then just to know, this is something that I get a lot of questions about. Any change that you do in workforce management is not going to be reflected on Zendesk side. So if I change someone from agent to admin in workforce management, that's not going to modify the access that they have in Zendesk, okay? So, so yeah, this is a great functionality. For example, people who works with BPOs. So most of the times you don't want to give them full visibility over, let's say, all of the agents or all of the configurations. So you can create potentially different roles to say, okay, they're not going to set up the forecast. They're only going to create shift. So you can, for example, check here the functionalities that we have, or like the functionalities that are here. So you can toggle this if you want them to have access or not, okay? Just a quick note about this as well. The admin and agent role are there by default, and they cannot be deleted, okay? But if you would like to create new ones, this is what you will have to do. So you click here, add role, and then let's say this is going to be manager C of the team C. And I'm going to have this here. So I have the option. And this is where you have to think about, okay, what are they going to do? What is this manager going to do? Do they need to set up the forecast? No. Do they need to generate the schedules? Yes. Do they need to, I don't know, approve or deny time off or shift trades? Yes, they might be. It depends. In most companies, sometimes the team leads are the one approving these, but maybe if you have another, let's say, workforce manager in your team, probably this is going to be for them. But this is the cool thing about this functionality, that you can give different levels of access. So I'm going to do all of this because I want my manager to see all of this, right? And maybe I don't want for him to look at the admin side. So this is organization structure. So this is where you set up, for example, your locations, where you set up your work streams. So you don't want them to have access to that just in case they modify anything, or just simply they don't need to access that. The settings, etc. And yeah, so once you have selected all of the permissions, right, you have here the scope. So this is like the other side of this functionality. So this is again level of access, but this is more related to users. So people that I have on specific teams, locations. So this is related to, once again, to the schedule and the shift templates, and then the work streams. So the type of work that agents can do, or the type of tickets. So I'm going to say that for this manager C role, so I already allowed this person to see the schedule, the reports, and everything that is real time. So now I'm going to select here. I have teams. So I have self, which is my own information. Then I have my teams. So all of the teams that I am part of. So I'm only going to see this information from those teams, or the teams that I am a manager. And all is that I can see everyone else information. So all of the users. In this case, I'm going to select my teams just to show you an example, because I'm going to show you as well how this looks for the person that I'm going to assign this role. Then locations, again, it will depend. My locations that you're part of, etc. So I'm going to select all, because I think you might have people in the teams that I'm going to select. Probably I'm going to have a specific users in different locations, so I want to see them all. And then work streams as well, because the users, they work in all of the work streams. But this can be more specific depending on your use case, okay? Other thing that you can do is you can select a specific teams here as well. And this is good, because I've had customers questioning me, okay, yeah, but if I allow them only access to my team, if I have another team lead or another manager, maybe I want to have kind of a backup for moments where the let's say the manager is not. So you can as well select the specific teams. So actually, instead of doing this, I'm going to select Alicia's and Elodie's team. Okay. So I'm going to click, before I click save, I'm going to select the agent. So again, if I want to add an agent to a specific role, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to look for the list here, and then I'm going to select the agent that I want to reassign to this manager C role. Okay, so I'm going to click reassign, and then I'm going to click save. A quick tip is as well, when you're going to select users here, is you like use this option here. So this is the way that I can filter the view of my users. So if you already have this by team, it might be easier to select here rather than, let's say, look this like all agents and like scroll until I find the person. So use these options. Like we have this all over the tool, and this is very practical to do, to filter, let's say, by team or by Zendesk group or by location, in this case, to find your users faster. Okay, so yeah, just to show you again, I, as an admin, so I am assigned to this role, I have access to everything and I can see all of the users. So I have in total 31 users, right? So now I'm going to show you how that looks for Alicia's account, which is the user that I change, right? So I changed the role from admin to specific users and for specific functionality. So as you can see here, she can only see 27 users. So if I do this by team, she's only going to see Alicia's 23 team and Elodie's team. Okay, so this is what it means. So they're only going to see users from those teams. Then when it comes to functionalities, I only gave her access to the auto schedule. So that's the only thing that she will be able to see. And once again, only for those users that are part of those teams. And the same for reporting, the same for dashboards. So these are only the things that I allow her to see. So use this in the best way that you see fit. As I mentioned, this is very good when you have VPOs, where you're working with VPOs, or simply to, like organize your account. So I'm going to continue. We've been talking a bit about Teams, so I'm going to finish the presentation with that. So if you want to go to Teams, you can go to organization structure and you're going to find it here. And then another tip, I'm not very agile on this, but if you are going to love this. So we have a way as well that you can use hotkeys to navigate the tool. So be agile, don't be like me, but you could potentially do Control or Command K. I'm going to have this option, and if I type here Teams, I can click here and it's going to take me directly to the page, okay? So yeah, so here are my teams, and it's very simple. So I have here add team option. I can, let's say, I want to have a team. So let's say Teresa's team. Description, you can add, I don't know, in this case, I'm not going to add any obvious description, but this can be, you can set up your teams in different ways. You can set up your teams by a specific manager, or let's say that you have already, I don't know, a specific type of request and you would like to kind of mimic what you have in your Zendesk groups. You would like to mimic that here in the teams, all is valid. And then what you have to do is you select the manager. So I'm going to auto-proclaim myself as the manager, and then I'm going to select here the agents. So again, use this, how you like, the way that it's easier for you. So I'm going to add, for example, users from the billing Zendesk group and success. So I'm going to apply, and this is how I create a team. Why it is important to think about and why it is important to set up this, because some people say like, yeah, well, I have this Zendesk group, but sometimes that change, and sometimes agents on the, and this is something that I've seen, sometimes people don't remember really well to which Zendesk group people are assigned, or they can be in both. So having them on the team is just a way to have like again, like an hygienic account, and it's like setting up since the beginning in the best way possible. So 100% recommend you to use this functionality. Also, this is going to be good for reporting purposes, and as I mentioned as well, to like the views. So everything on the tool, you have this option to segment by team location. So again, use this option because this is going to be very comfortable as well for, let's say, team leads. If you decide to set up your teams by team lead, it's going to be very comfortable that if I only need to see Elodie's team, I can only expand this. So I'm going to see only the agents that I want to see, okay? And also for on the reports, the reporting side, you can create reports by specific teams. So again, that's why it is kind of cool to set up the teams. So when it comes to time zones, we have two options, or let's say it depends on who is using the tool, right? So then do you mean like this time zone when you see the information on the tool, or for example, from a scheduling point of view? Whatever then let us know. But so you have here an option that you can select the time zone for your own account, and that's going to be only for you. So for example, let's say that you have different team leads on your team. If I am located in, let's say, Portugal, and Elodie is located in, I don't know, South Africa. So I can select here different time zones, and each individual can select different time zones, and that's not going to affect the rest of the account. So that's only going to be for me. So if I select here, let's say, well, now I have this Dublin one, but if I select this, I'm going to select this one. Everything now I'm going to see it on the current time for this time zone that I'm selecting, okay? So that's one thing. When it comes to agents, they have on the schedule view here, they have a way, so this is my schedule, right? And I can select here my own time zone. So this is the time that I'm starting from this time zone, but I can select another one as well, and I'm going to see as well that changing. So let's select this one, and then I have here now. So this can be adjusted as well from both sides. So from the team lead point of view, so that will be here, and also from the agent point of view. We have available the getting started guides. So when you arrive to this page, we have the admin guide. So a lot of the topics that we discussed today, you can find them here. So on the admin guide. And again, this is nice because you have specific topics that you can click, and we're going to be redirected to that specific information, of course. And you have that here. Okay, and maybe this is, yeah. So we talk a bit about like teams, for example, briefly explain what is locations and work streams. So yeah, so you have more information here, roles and permissions. And also another tip, if you want to maybe see, I don't know, we also have manager guide and agent guide. So this is like what agents are going to see, to explain a bit that. And also something that I like to do is I like to come here to this link, so resources, and I have a specific, I feel like it's easier to kind of like navigate here. Let's say I want to see everything related to, or a lot of articles related to reporting. So if I click here, I'm going to have articles already about agent activity or real time and reporting. So what are the metrics that we have available, how to create a report. So I think this is good that you can access this to kind of like see straight away the topic and have all of the articles available. So you have a lot of options. There is no excuse. So yeah. And then, of course, if you have questions, you can always reach out to our lovely advocacy team. Yeah, or your account team as well. If you have a lot of questions or you would like to, clarify anything related to Zendesk Workforce Management, feel free to reach out to advocacy or to your account team, and then they can get in touch with us.